Now, most big Amazon sellers think scaling just means spending more money on PPC and aggressively bidding on keywords, but that is far from the truth because we took a stagnant UK clothing brand with over 10,000 SKUs, stuck at just 200K a month, scaled up to 720K a month within 14 months, all while keeping a TACoS at 4%. And here's exactly how we did it step by step. So here's some proof for context. January 2022 and 2023 stuck at around £165,000. So they sell on the UK marketplace, £227,000 2023. We took them to in December 2023, hitting 536,000 in pounds. So that's over 750,000 US dollars equivalent. Here's some PPC results. We spent only 24,000 to get 132,000 in pounds in sales in that, 80% ACoS at a 0.21 cost per click. But this resulted in 536,000 total sales. Okay, just with 24,000 spend, that comes out to a 4% TACoS, and year over end was over 4 million pounds and counting. So how do we do this? Let's get into it right away and break down every step one by one. So rule number one was simplify the catalog. If you are in textiles, if you're in clothing, if you're in bedding, you know there are so many variations on your listing, insane amounts, right? Or if you're just a big brand in general, you're gonna have tons of SKUs on Amazon. And for them, a single parent listing can have hundreds of child ASINs because they're different sizes, different colors, and different styles. So PPC across all of them diluted spend and fragmented results. Over 10,000 SKUs, that is straight paralysis. How are we meant to efficiently scale this? Like, which listings do we prioritize? Which ones do we optimize further continuously? How much PPC budget goes to each campaign or each product specifically? And they didn't really know which products to push or which colors to scale or how to structure their campaigns. So here's the first thing we did. We put products in tiers of importance using our 3-phase revenue growth system. Here's exactly how it goes. So pillar one is where we build the foundation. Deep precision cleanup, keyword research, implementation of our tiered system, which I'm gonna go over, and creative work. Second thing is once all that's done is we accelerate growth and keyword ranking and organic sales. Launch ranking engine, intent campaigns, I'll go over that shortly. A/B test creatives continuously and grow keyword ranking and scale. Lastly, it's scale your catalog, conversion uplift, high intent retargeting ads, sales funnel improvements, expand business through variations and product launches, use Amazon Search Query Performance Report to analyze what part of the funnel we can do better. This is exactly how our system works. Now let me break down each point. Hey, if you're an Amazon seller serious about scaling your business on Amazon, we're offering a free in-depth audit of your brand. We'll cover exactly what's working, what's not working, and give you a plan of action to efficiently scale. So it should be the first link in the bio and also in the comments, and we'll get that forward to you. Now let's get back to the video. So for our system, we have 3 tiers of products, okay? And this makes it really easy to systemize and figure out which products we have to prioritize because those are the biggest growth levers. So we have tier 1 core products. These are products that drive more than 30% of sales. So these are our biggest levers that we want to maximize. Tier 2 growth products drive between 5 to 30% of sales. So these are still really good, have a lot of room for improvement, and further in-depth market research can really help us. Tier 3, low-hanging fruit products. Everyone has those products that just drive little to no sales, and you think you can always do better. But these are pretty much, they drive less than 5% of sales. And these are our last prioritization, and we just want to get more sales for them organically through brand awareness campaigns, and so overall getting more traffic to our brand as a whole. So here's pretty much the entire system right here. You can see tier importance here. We have tier 1 products, tier 2 products, tier 3 products, and it's by total sales, unit session percentage, units ordered, and total sessions. Every number has to be tracked by the book so we know exactly what we can further boost upon, what we can cut waste, and build upon further. So why do we do this method? Okay, well, the catalog is too big to efficiently scale without prioritizing products with the most demand and chances of growth. Every brand has products that they need to maximize and they need to really focus on to build those sales. And these can be products with the most reviews, most sales, biggest market, keywords with tons of search volume, and good existing organic keyword ranking. These need to be emphasized. Also, in those products where we have competitors with less reviews, weaker listings doing much better than us, we know we can further expand upon that. Now, by scaling these products 3 to 5x, you will inevitably see more search volume with the other products that aren't generating as many sales. So example, our tier 1 low-hanging fruit products. If we scale these tier 1 or tier 2 products, we're inevitably going to get a lot more brand awareness and search volume coming to our brand as a whole. And these will inevitably see a lot more sales. And these are going to be free sales because we're not spending so much on PPC. Now, why is this? Because now you have more eyeballs from customers looking into your catalog as a whole. We're building a brand. They purchase your top sellers, love your products, and see what else you have to offer. You have product comparison charts of your low-hanging fruit products. So pretty much for our top listings, we have product comparison charts in our A+ content showcasing our other products. We can retarget a lot of buyers with retargeting ads and sponsored brand campaigns. And now we're getting free organic sales for your other products. So what was the solution for Crazy Zeros? We applied the 80-20 rule, focused only on tier 1 products initially because they had so many product listings. So this could be 20 to 30 listings, you know. From there, we selected 2 to 4 hero child ASINs per parent to push with PPC. Now, like I said, a lot of variations per each ASIN, a lot of SKUs, okay? So we have to identify which child ASINs we need to maximize, okay? Where most brands mess up is they think they need to run PPC on all the variations on a listing. That is completely wrong. If you have one winning variation, if you scale that and that's bringing in tons of sales velocity for your product, that is inevitably going to scale your entire listing as a whole and increase your keyword ranking. You know, it's a ranking heroes created a halo effect that lifts the rest organically. It's literally this image right here. Your top variations carrying the rest. If you have 1 or 2 hero variations that crush it and the other ones get no sales, you're still ranking organically for the entire listing as a whole, and those other variations are going to get sales. So you want to identify your winning variations and really focus heavily on scaling those. So the key takeaway is don't scale everything. Scale only what's already winning with the data you have in hand. So once we identify the winning products, our tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, we identify which type of campaigns specifically should be built for them, okay? So every Amazon PPC campaign we build has a certain intention. And here are all the intentions that we have. Ranking, scaling sales, defensive campaigns, competitor conquesting, new product launch, clearance inventory liquidation, profit maximization, retargeting ads, seasonal event push, category domination. Most people mess up is they don't actually put out intentions for their PPC campaigns and just throw it all out there. Every campaign needs to have an intention. They all should have their certain ACoS threshold, TACoS threshold, cost per click threshold, because every campaign has a different purpose. Some campaigns might be just defensive campaigns for our own brand. So typically we're going to have a lower ACoS because people are searching for our product. Now, if we have ranking campaigns, scaling sales campaigns, we know we're probably going to have a little bit higher ACoS because we're trying to really increase that organic ranking for those keywords that we're targeting. So you really have to build this out. This is what we did for them. We emphasized on every single campaign and gave it a specific intention. Now, what started out with such a big catalog resulted in 1, knowing which products to emphasize for overall brand growth using our system, and then 2, efficiently building out PPC campaigns with specific intents for growth and overall strategy. Here's a quick example of some certain campaigns for manual campaigns. 3 different types: exact, phrase, broad. Specifically for clothing, if you have a Italian leather jacket, that is an exact match because that's specifically what we're searching for. Phrase match can be a leather jacket. You can throw in some other ways of saying the keyword. And then a broad match would be just simply jacket. So the second thing we had to do was rebuild SEO at scale. Most listings lacked keyword depth and variation structure. So what did we do? So many SKUs, insane, thousands of SKUs. It's inefficient to do this manually. You have to do bulk flat file uploads to refresh the titles and everything, okay? Other things, merge duplicate listings into stronger parent variations. So many listings that can be merged together based off variation, color, and size. Makes sense to group it in one, build one strong listing. This is something you really should emphasize. Infuse long tail seasonal keywords. So a lot of, obviously, with clothing line, you're gonna have a lot of seasons coming around: Halloween, Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day. So you really want to incorporate these keywords. I'll go into this later. So the result is that rankings consolidated, reviews concentrated into one listing as a whole, and organic visibility boosted. So the key takeaway is, if you have large catalogs, don't be afraid, okay? They just demand more of a systematic approach. Bulk SEO cycles, bulk PPC uploads, bulk PPC negations, not one-off fixes. But the ones that master this really get to scale at the next level. So in terms of keyword research, we do a deep SEO deep dive into a master keyword list. Pretty much, we look at your listing and your top competitors and identify what keywords we can really emphasize and boost our organic ranking on. And how we do this is we identify what keywords our competitors are ranked really, really high for and that are super relevant for us. You can look at a screen right here. Here's another example right here, a deep dive into keywords. This is very, very important, okay? Because if we don't know what keywords we're going to target in our PPC campaigns, we need to first of all put it into our listing first and then go from there. So rule number 3, engineer PPC for profit, not just sales. So before us, their ads, the PPC was scattered across thousands of SKUs, wasted spend, poor ACoS. After, we focused PPC only on tier 1 products plus the hero ASINs of those products, okay? So it's super tailored to those products. 24K spend, 132 sales a month. That's about 18% ACoS. TACoS at 4%, 80% sales organic. This is very, very important. This is very hard to achieve nowadays in Amazon US marketplace. 80% of sales they were getting were organically. Now, how is this possible? We had got their listings up so high organically for the keywords that I'm going over here, like all of these keyword opportunities here. Once we identify these keyword opportunities, put those further in the listings and build out these campaigns specifically to build those rankings up. That's how we were able to achieve 80% organic sales and a TACoS at just 4%, right? This is very, very important. This is the end goal for any brand on Amazon nowadays. We want way more organic sales compared to PPC. I see too many brands super PPC reliant, and it absolutely crushes you because the bids go up and you don't know how to efficiently scale. What we did next was we simplified to one SKU per ad group for control, so we can maximize everything, and then every 2 weeks go in, check the search term report, and it's much easier to structurize this. Okay, the campaign intentions were mainly ranking, organic boost, and scaling sales, as I showed you prior. Okay, we were trying to build organic ranking. Now, extra strategy. For seasonal peaks, we launched campaigns 15 to 20 days before demand to rank early at low cost per clicks, dominating once bids roll. So we were ahead of all the competitors, and once the season enrolled, we were already super high ranked for these keywords, okay? So the key takeaway is smart PPC equals profitability plus defensible rankings. Rule number 4 was manage the machine. Since we're a clothing brand, you know fashion has high returns plus constant inventory churn. Everything has to be on par, everything has to be structurized in such a perfect format. So what do? We set up systems for variation management, very important, split when needed, merge when smart. If you have a look here, let's have a look at this. This is a one listing. How many variations do we have here? I can't even tell you. 3, 6, 9. So 9, 18, 27, 36. 36 plus, look at all these size charts, like 6. There's over 300 child ASINs on this one SKU. So it's very hard to manage, so everything has to be on par. So customer support, consistent stock checks, consistent size charts. This is very important. I'll show you exactly what this is later. And always maintaining good account health always, so the account doesn't get shut down. So here's an example of a size chart, very, very important. If you sell not even just clothing, any other product that involves size, use, anything else, make sure your images reflect this, because we do not want to have high return rates, which absolutely crushes your sales and overall margins. Rule number 5 was seasonality and pre-season prep. Like I said, a lot of different seasons: Halloween, Christmas, Easter, so on and so forth. So Playbook identified seasonal tier 1 products. So now we don't just have tier 1 products, we have seasonal tier 1 products. So for example, Christmas catalogs. Those are now tier 1 products that we're going to emphasize for that time period. What we did was obviously revamp the entire listing and then activated PPC 2 to 3 weeks before the peaks, so that once it comes, we are ranked already high organically and we don't have to overspend on PPC. The result is seasonal dominance while competitors burn budgets just trying to catch up. And the key takeaway is win seasons by ranking early, not overspending late. Always be ahead of the trends. Now, very important for big brands on Amazon is cash flow management. One of the hardest things people struggle with on Amazon, and if it's all out of sorts, it can absolutely derail your brand, okay? So for them specifically, we had an issue. In Q4 of 2023, Amazon delayed payments for them, and cash flow could have crippled sales. But what did we do instead? So if you have cash flow issues and inventory is running low, increase the prices by 2 to 8% just to boost margins and overall bring the sales velocity a little bit down where we're not overspending. What we did next was slowed PPC on the tier 2 and tier 3 products we were running at the time. Only focus on the tier 1 campaigns. Don't overspend. Keep everything in check. We really want to preserve profitability and avoid stockouts, okay? Anything to avoid stockouts while also maintaining good enough sales velocity during the time period where our organic ranking is not being dropped. So what was the result? Obviously, a slight dip in volume, but higher profit margins and continuous momentum. And the key takeaways: cash flow discipline is as critical as PPC, and you really need to track all of these things. Rule number 7, creative strategy as a growth lever. Obviously, for a lot of seasons, we have to do a whole creative updates on the listing, show Halloween themes, Christmas themes, so on and so forth. Very, very important. Higher click-through rate, as you know, on Amazon, very, very important. We want to get people to click our listing and then convert. And convert is based off of our actual listing copy, our main images, our reviews, pricing, and variations. So very, very important also. Rule number 8, continuous optimization cycles. This is where most people mess up. SEO is not a set once, leave forever type of thing. There's always new trends and search volume in the market, okay? So for them specifically, listings were refreshed every 15 days for tier 1 ASINs, okay? This is very, very important. We added new keywords, updated the backend search terms, and tweaked everything. We did this based off of data. So every 15 days, we look at the data again, what keywords we see our increase in organic ranking that we can further boost our sales on. Very, very important. The result, always ahead of competitors. Everything should be measured. Everything should be top notch, okay? Continuous optimization beats one-time setup always. Rule number 9 was ranking focus and tracking. We tracked keyword positions for every tier 1 ASIN. We wanted to target BSR rankings of 1 to 5 within this niche. So we tracked every single thing for it, okay? Now, once ranked, products dominated traffic flow and conversions, but the biggest thing was tracking everything to see that we're actually increasing our bestseller rank. This is a really important point. Scaling is ranking obsession, not sales obsession. We can have the most sales, but if our bestseller rank or our keyword ranking is not as high as it is, that means we're super PPC reliant. We're spending for every dollar we want to get out. That is not the end goal. That's not what's going to put money into your actual pocket. Scaling is. Increasing our BSF ranking is. Increasing our organic ranking for keywords is. That's what puts more money in your pocket without spending on PPC so much. Now, rule number 10, pricing as a lever. Pricing is not static also. Pricing revolves around a lot of different strategies. Most sellers just set and forget prices. That is not what you do, okay? Raise to protect margins during cash flow crunches, as I explained. Lower to accelerate ranking or clear inventory during the certain time periods. At the end of every month, we pretty much reduce the price a little bit just to get more sales velocity, and that boost during the end of the month really helps build your bestseller rank for the next month onward and forth. Result, balanced profitability plus velocity across cycles. Key takeaway, pricing equals control lever, not a static number always. Now, last point is bulletproof inventory management. In December of 2023, we sold 720,000 without a single stock out on any product, and now we have 10,000 SKUs. How was this possible? International suppliers for bulk, obviously, but what we had was a combination of FBA and FBM very close to each other, and we tracked every single shipment, okay? And we forecast sales velocity for each product SKU, so we make sure we're always ahead of time for when we need more inventory, okay? This is very, very important. Key takeaways, aggressive scaling only works with ironclad supply chains. You need both working in cohesion for you to efficiently scale, because a stock out will absolutely crush your momentum and just waste your money. So what happened next? Like I said, revenue, 200K to 720K peak, multiple months over 500K, all with the TACoS at just 4%, super profitable. Spent 24,000 pounds to get 536,000 in total sales. That means 80% of sales came organically. This is very hard to achieve. We weren't just buying growth, we were ranking everything. We were ranking on top of page one for every single keyword related to our main products, okay? That is insane. 80% of sales coming 536,000 pounds. Now, for further context, this was on Amazon UK, which is a much smaller market than the US, right? 33 billion market versus 395 billion. Now, this is proof that structure beats market size. Everyone wants to win in the US marketplace, but there's a lot of different markets where you can absolutely dominate if you have the right strategies in place. Now, here's a quick video from the owner of Crazy Girls, Naveed. I'll link a summary here talking about our results and how we exactly help them. So further context about Crazy Girls brand, right now it's a little bit slow right now because they had some sort of certification issues that they needed to be fixed. But once it's back up, it's back to scaling as high as it possibly could and hopefully expanding to the US market also. Now, what are some key lessons for sellers like you who have a big catalog but don't know how to efficiently scale on the platform? Number one thing is wide catalogs need focus, not scatter, and using something like our 3-phase revenue growth system can really help structurize everything, okay? Scaling equals profitability, not vanity sales. We don't want to overspend for every sale, and we have the same profit margins as we were, or same money going into our account at a 30% less revenue, right? That doesn't make sense. The right system leads to growth even in smaller markets, and the biggest brands that scale efficiently have teams built in place with the right strategies for growth. And you need to track every single goddamn metric. The biggest brands on Amazon track every single thing. Now, if you want this for your brand and you want to see if you're a fit for our system, if you're doing 50K to 100K plus a month and feel stuck, we'll build you the same exact system tailored to your brand and niche specifically. So we did this for our electronics company recently, and we doubled their PPC sales while adding over 100K in monthly revenue within 2 months, okay? 2 months added 100K in revenue, ACoS reduced by 32%, and the ROAS increased by 49%. So if you're interested in this, hit the link in bio to hop on a call with me and discuss further exactly how our system can help you specifically for your brand and what the best plan of action is going forward. More case studies and breakdowns on this channel. You can have a look at that. Take care. Peace out.